أنا محمد عاصي أقدمكم نفسي أقدمكم في فوني It's open.
Welcome everybody, welcome to the fourth episode of the He-Ho Show. Tonight we have an interesting panel of guests. We're going to start from the right of me with our ever-present, incredible G.
Hello,
Introduce yourself.
people. Good night.
So tell us where you're from, age, sexual orientation, and basically, what's your purpose on this podcast? Shoot. There's a question also from the outside asking if men are able to jump into the DMs. If so, you could put your information out there. I wouldn't advise it though, but you go ahead.
Put me on the spot. From San Juan, 38. DMs. I mean, my account private, so I mean, if you can, okay.
Bruh.
May not get a reply. Purpose on this podcast is just to have a better understanding of men's perspective and women's perspective, and basically how we can coexist better. Yeah.
Excellent. Next, we have Queen of the Pack.
Hi. Nice to meet you. I am Queen of the Pack. I am 28 years old. I don't remember the rest of the questions.
Okay, so age, sexual orientation.
I'm bi.
Interesting.
28, like I said. And my purpose here is, I guess, to provide entertainment and enlightenment.
Sensational.
On relationships.
Excellent. Next.
Hi, so I'm Shen, and I you said where I'm from. I'm from Carnage. I'm 40, and my purpose here, I got invited, and I thought it was an interesting thing to do, to share my perspective on relationships, which is going to be totally anecdotal because I'm not an expert in anything relationship. And so, yeah, thank you for having me.
Welcome. Here we move on to the males on the panel. So,
Yeah, they didn't have no love for men here. Shaquille, Twiggy, Charles. I don't know how to speak after all these ladies went. You know, the voice is so soft and so nice and so smooth. You know, I don't know. Shaquille, Twiggy, Charles, age 30. Sexual orientation, straight, jeans and fitted. My purpose here on this podcast is actually comic relief. Yeah, you see. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. I am your host, moderator, Baz. If you want to call me Agent K, it's fine. But here we are on this auspicious Sunday evening discussing relationships. The first thing we want to get into, of course, anybody saw this Keke Palmer debacle that's taking place right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we want to get your thoughts on it, starting from, again, Incredible G. Definitely, there was something that was said. We need to find the facts on that, though, Asha. We need to find the facts where she said that she's single until she's married. You know, I wanted to just, give us a little thoughts on that. What do you think that means? If that's even a fair statement to make. Again, if it's good for the goose, is it good for the gander?
So I think my opinion is that for her, I believe she's one that would like to get married. So in her mind, until I get that ring, I'm single, which I could understand because I kind of share the same views in a sense that you're single until you're married. Because when you go to sign up for your passport or any form of document is single, married, divorced, widowed. So I just think it's the person's perspective that single until married.
Of course, we hope that this is actually true information that she did say
Yes.
so, because
Yes.
I'm not trying to put words in Keke Palmer's mouth, of course. But I will also go to say, before we go on to the other ladies on the panel, this is a situation that takes place a lot in our country as well. Is being single enough to require the commitment that is needed for a marriage? Or if you're single, is it okay to go out and play the field? Is it okay to go and do what you would do if you really didn't have a significant other in your life? Rather than just being free, single, and disengaged. I really think it's a bad thing. After she told the man, hey, stay home and mind the baby and look at the $2 on the couch there, buy a little movie, coming back. When he say, baby, where you going? She's like, don't worry about that, right? I come back just now, just mind the child. We'll be up, I come back in a little bit. And then boom, it's because Usher seen all the flim flam, right? So that's really unnecessary and wrong on my part. I don't know how I was going to deal with that.
Wrong on who part?
On her part, all right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to pause this
Wrong on whose part?
on Kiki's part. I really don't appreciate that happened, all right? If it were me, I don't know how I was going to deal with it, but it's not me.
I don't agree with it.
Mm.
Mainly because I feel like if you're in a relationship, there are certain things that you can't do. Like you can't go around and talk to other people in a certain way, or
Right.
you can't link with somebody else. So if it is just single until you get a ring on it, then what are we doing besides that? Like what? So am I allowed to go and see other men? Are you allowed to see other girls? Like it leaves a lot of gray area that I don't really agree with.
You see, my whole thing, right? What I want to know, right, is that we speaking from the layman or ordinary citizen on the street perspective. No, these people are superstars. These people are stars. These people, have been right. Those people have been in the limelight for some time. So there would be like a certain agreement in a relationship. I believe a conversation would be had, about what to expect, expectations, etc., etc.
Right.
Do you agree
But their expectation.
that they should have a conversation?
They
before
definitely should
prior?
have a conversation,
Right.
yeah.
No, you see, all of us from the outside looking at this Keke Palmer situation, and we don't quite have the information provided
We
to
have
make
no
judgments.
idea. We have no
Exactly.
idea what goes on behind closed doors.
Exactly.
We have no idea if this is just some PR stunt
Yeah,
or
that's
if it's
very
just
true.
a little bit of public banter for their own private. We have no idea. So, I mean, like going on from what you're saying, I think it's really just your own values and what you would put into your relationship. You, like, together as two individuals, you can like have that discussion and
Mhm.
set the parameters that you want. And if you want to have, multiple partners, or you want to have a certain relationship, and as long as the other person agrees and you respect that, fair enough. For me, like I think it takes away the purity of your union if you are kind of diluting it um, with other energies.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that if you have a special union, whether it be whatever type of union you want to have, I think if it's just you two in it and you have a certain level of communication, and you know how to communicate, you understand each other's love languages, if you want to say that, then I think that that's the only way that you can progress and move forward, because every single day you're different to what you were a year ago, a month ago, or a year ago, and if you're able to grow with each other, then I think that that's kind of what makes things really special.
And I think this, like, communication is extremely important. You know what I mean? And honesty in communication, because you could communicate and you could not be honest. You could just be talking and talking in circles, right? There was an interview done with them prior. Like, the interview dropped recently about they having conversations and the comfortability and how being in this limelight and being a star, etc., etc. Right? I also believe that within it all, they, like what he said in the post when he said that you're a mother, etc., etc. That is not what he wanted to say. Like he had some in-depth things that he was dealing with, and he thought it would be wise that it would be easier if this is what if I highlight the outfit, maybe people will get it. But I think it's beyond that. Maybe they had because in reality, she and Usher could be friends. They both could be friends, and you don't know that level of relationship. And again, the communication comes down to that, which part, be like, hey, babe, you gotta trust me, you're with me, etc. That reassurance in a relationship is extremely important.
Very true.
Well, I heard everybody speaking here, and I just want to add one little important caveat. It's excellent point that we don't have a clue that this might very well be a PR stunt. But for the most part, let's go down the hypothetical Twilight Zone. Okay. So we are in a relationship, hypothetically speaking. All right. And of course, gender roles come to play an important part in this. Is it fair to say that men are responsible for maintaining relationships more than women are? Is it fair?
When you say maintaining, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so a woman reserves the right to walk out of a relationship whenever she's not comfortable. However, for it to be maintained through men providing protection, provision, maybe some sort of guidance, maybe.
What's my problem with that, with that particular question, is assigning like rules to people in relationships, and that's probably why I'm not in a relationship, because for me, I believe in equality, right? And you telling me that I am destined to do this one thing, that is Bible time days. There's things that you used to see in the past, that a woman's supposed to cook, and a woman's supposed to clean, opposed to a man supposed to pay the rent, buy the house.
Take out the rubbish. Take out the
Take off the rubbish, kill the cockroach. You know what I mean? And like, why she can't kill the cockroach? Why she can't kill the cockroach? Anything wrong with she killing the cockroach?
You know why she can't kill the cockroach? You know why she can't kill the
Why
cockroach?
she can't kill the
Because
cockroach?
if she kill the cockroach, she could kill something else that they don't finish with roach.
She could kill me.
So if you want to maintain your balls and your dignity, we kind of need some sort of rule in the situation, right? I mean, we can all say equality is equality, but is it really equality?
So then, based on what you explain, who the role is for?
I don't
Which
think
role?
there's a role, no. Like, I think that the person that you're with
Mm-hmm.
should, like, all the things that you don't have, like, okay, let's say I'm okay with killing cockroaches, but you're not.
Right.
Just because you're a man does not mean that you have to kill the cockroach or,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
take
like
out the
the other
garbage.
day
It's
I was
whatever
going
we
home.
are.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. Like the other day I was going home, and to get into my apartment, there's like a little alleyway, and I'm surrounded by bush, so there's always something. And I always have to be checking before I go in. And I saw something, I don't know what it was, because I didn't get to see it for long because I ran.
The jaguar. You see the jaguar?
I wasn't sure what it was, but I ran out. And I was just waiting there. I was just like, okay, I have to go back in. And luckily, like within about a minute, one of my upstairs neighbors came, and it was a man and a woman. And like as they're coming towards, I was like, oh, I'll go towards the man, right? And I went, I'm like, oh my God, there's something in there. I don't know if you guys can help me or whatever. And he just immediately turned to his wife, and he's like, okay, don't worry. I got it. Because I think I just immediately thought, okay, I'll go to the man. But actually in that relationship, the woman was the one who was clearly killing the insects,
Yeah.
So
I just have to interject here. Hi, everybody. I was trying to play the background. But then, I'll be the first one to call BS on I head. Not from you, or just in general. How much the ladies here have, in fact, killed the wild animals and stuff, and not hypothetical?
Oh, no. I just said that as like a
Mm.
hypothetical
Nah, we talk
situation.
about don't backpedal, no.
I mean, no. I don't mess with cockroaches. I don't mess with creepy
So that, you know what
crawlies.
that means? Gender rule now. You do that gender rule you're supposed
I
to do that
guess.
in all things. All the
I get where she's coming from, though. I understand that she's saying that it doesn't necessarily have to be that the woman is the be-all homemaker,
Yeah.
for Miss on the left. Or for her, say, you see her? She said that she went by the closest meal.
She had to
I
help.
did.
I was like, well, closest meal. I was like, you know what? You get
But-
it.
but my
But
thing-
she
my-
also said that the woman was the one that clearly
Correct.
deals.
was the woman
things.
kind of masculine in
No,
nature?
no,
Or she was
no.
very femininely?
Yes, she was wearing a dress actually.
So this is a testament to how bitch-made men have become in our society. Okay?
Wow.
That's a
Yes.
very strong word.
Wow.
No boy, it's the truth. No. I agree that men have become extremely bitch-made in our society based on the norms and values that has been placed on us
Well,
men.
do you think it's because there's the absence of fathers in households? Because a lot of men are mummy's boys.
I am a
Yeah.
mommy boy, and I'm not ashamed to say that. So ask me any question that you want to think, and I will answer as a man.
Wow.
Because I, as a man who's a mommy's boy. And I don't think...
Manny, Santa box on me.
Pause.
I didn't mean to trigger you, bro. I just was saying something general.
No, but I like what Queen was saying, right?
Uh-huh.
In a relationship, and this is what my overlying point was. In order for a relationship to work, in order for any relationship to work, in order for anything to work, there has to be some form of balance. Right?
And compromise.
And compromise.
Yeah, but the nature of that
Let me discuss that
balance-
compromise, right?
The
'Cause
nature of
I
the
agree with
balance
it.
would change though.
Mhm.
It depends. It depends on the person and what it is. That's what I was trying to say. Is like what it is I have,
Mhm.
you may not have. That's my ideal. Like what I don't have, you could pick up the slack for.
And this is the
And
thing,
what
right?
you don't have, I can help you out with.
This
That's
is-
ideal.
This is something that I read. Yeah. I read something. I read something recently, which part they were speaking about relationships, and they say when you enter a relationship, right? Think of it as two people working on themselves individually to make one whole, right? That is me paraphrasing. I might butcher it, but that is essentially what it was. And as you said, it's always moving, just like water. It's fluid, right? In a relationship, you're not supposed to remain stagnant. You're supposed to grow. So obviously, if you're growing, then the things that in the relationship, the balance would move, and it would shift to to continuously work like a machine. And I think that is always approach a relationship like
Oh,
a
yeah.
machine.
That's essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just
It's-
But I still
Evolutionary.
think there's room for people to be their individual selves.
Mhm.
I don't think it's so. My views are that a lot of people are like, okay, two become one. We're now
Yeah.
like one unit, and fair enough. In some ways, there is like a unit
Mhm.
to it.
partnership.
But I still think that people can be individual and they can have differences, and as long as they don't compromise values, then
No,
it should be good.
I agree with you because I think that any relationship that feeling is because two people trying to hide their true selves. They trying to be individuals but hide their true selves from their other partner. And I agree with you that you're right, that you have to be solid within yourself. You have to find yourself first, be one with yourself, understand yourself, and approach a relationship. I don't think you should be in a relationship in the first place if you don't have that comfortability with yourself.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so we're gonna deal with some accountability here, right now. I want to start with you, Queen, because Queen just sitting down there having a little smoke on her face. If you should see, listeners, you should see the smoke. So accountability, and I'm not gonna attack you. There's no attack here. You have a problem, bro?
Neck. My neck, I suppose.
That's
I had to
already a
lean
cool
into my
system.
care.
Back to the conversation. So when we're talking about, and I agree with everything you ladies have to say tonight, there's no pushback just yet. But we're leading up to a point where we have to understand that gender roles are necessary if we are to be called man and woman. As such, when we say it could be fluid or it could be equal, we cannot put ourselves in a bind because let's say I'm a man and my woman might be stronger than me in certain instances. However, she might not be stronger than the strongest man. So, in as much as I would be okay with her going out and fighting a lion, for me, which I'm not, what I would say is that it's putting her at a disadvantage by asking her to take up the roles that traditionally men take up, because it's not so much her doing it for my life to become better, is actually so that we could actually survive better. And maybe I might lose you when I say the gender roles are necessary, but having a woman understand that yes, she's a woman and she needs to have certain feminine. The three things men are really interested in is a feminine woman, she's fit, and she's attractive.
I want to be devil's advocate.
One
just
second,
because-
bro. One
Yeah,
second. All right? Again, somebody. Let him cook. All right? So everything that I just said leads back to the point of we've lost our way in terms of what exactly a relationship means. The relationship is really about us becoming better as one. So if we are bickering about roles and issues and all the little things that cause problems, then we kind of lose the mark of having it be genuinely about survival, genuinely about us having a better life for the offspring. Because without the children, why are we even together? You know? We need,
Pardon?
sorry,
What do you mean?
I'll
by
repeat that. So man and woman, I believe, and this is my take, this is obviously might be an unpopular take, but I believe the real reason for us men and women being together is for procreation,
Okay.
right? Without procreation, we cannot play in idle time. Because, yeah, that's my unpopular take.
Dangerous game.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but okay, but how
Dangerous
do you
games.
say how could you say that to somebody who what if the guy is impotent or the woman is
But what about they just decide they don't want to have a child?
yeah, what if they just don't like kids?
Sure.
And, see what's happening. Okay, so in terms of when somebody in that situation, the guy is impotent. Back in the day, with I guess, it's not Freud, it's Darwin, survival of the fittest.
Right.
Some people have to be weeded out of the genetic pool. It just is it is what it is. That's nature. Some people have to go. Everybody can't. It's not like hold your hands, kumbaya type situation. People had to go. People had to die. Disease is there for a specific reason. Things are there, like it have beasts to kill, it have storms to kill, everything to kill. We ain't supposed to live forever. Things are designed for that purpose. Like that's why it's nature. It go in harmony with everything. Nothing gonna last forever. However, the fittest, the strongest, the wisest going to be able to survive perilous times. So in terms of impotency, for some reason you had a query, what about this how to get wider? What about the gene pool? Because I'm sure in certain situations, plenty of people that wish Hitler parents was impotent. Ooh,
I mean
on top of that take, let me go.
I could understand that to an extent.
But
But I mean, maybe that is part of natural selection. Yeah, it's okay. Maybe the universe or whoever made us is like, all right, cool. We'll have this one impotent. We'll have this person not able to bear children or have whatever wrong with her internal organs, and that's a way to control population, I guess, in a sense. But I don't think what
I
is
don't think it's necessary.
yeah.
Like, I don't think it's necessary. I think my take on it is that, it's really lovely when in a relationship you are in a position to bring another human into the world that can be useful to society. But I think equally you can have a relationship that you're look at Oprah and Stadman. Hello. Like, they're not married. They have no children. And she seems happy. Look at her.
Okay.
as well as before you go on, because that is one part of
But wait, let me
the
also
thing, right?
finish. Wait, I also think in some cases, having children can sometimes be more of an ego thing. And I think you want to see your child and you want to see a lot of the times people end up trying to live through their children.
Yeah, they're projecting.
And a lot of those, like if you look at families like that, they end up with a lot of trauma and not necessarily useful in relationships or society. So I genuinely believe that, like, if you are thinking about, it shouldn't be like, okay, my partner is because, we want to make children. I think it should be something that should be carefully decided upon. You need to be financially healthy. Your relationship should be healthy before you do that to a child.
Excellent point, I might add. But, and there always is a but, all right? That is the anomaly. So the vast majority of people in this world tend to have similar wants and needs from relationships, stemming from our biological needs. And when we didn't have all these structures and social institutions, that could make life easier for us when it was a more simple time, what we would have looked for or done was according to our biological needs. No, I'm not saying that there will be weaker men and stronger women. They will always have the exceptions to the rule, such as the insect incident,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
But on an average, you're not going to find much men who will leave their women to face the wolves. Just like you're not going to find much women who will leave their men to go hungry.
Yeah.
You know, as such, we kind of want to deal with the general rule or the statistical rule rather than the outskirts, based on if I were to ask the average man in the streets if he wants to stay at home and let his woman go to work and pay for all the bills and end up in an Usher concert with a whole backside exposed,
Yeah.
I know the answer will be an unequivocal no.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think that's because maybe like we now live in a society where women are chasing the wolves on their own and they're okay. And, you know, like.
There's a sniper in the bush, guys. There is a sniper in the bush. Why did I say this? No, the snake buddy.
that's incredible, G.
Yeah. I saw she was waiting. She was waiting in the tree. She was waiting in the tree. We saw you. Don't worry. You know what you're supposed to do? Pull off the sniper thing at the last moment. But she pulled it off. He saw the glare. Yeah. You lean back a little bit too. So talk it.
Say what you have to say. Incredible, G.
I mean, I agree with what she said. Some women now going after what they want, and I guess women figure that we don't really need to have a man there to chase the wolves.
Right. So, what we really need to look at is, yes, women are now able to acquire more resources. Yes, women are able to do much more with themselves. But if I were to go around the table, I'm going to start with you, Incredible G, because you really want to answer. I'm going to ask you two questions. Number one, are you willing to take care of a man until the day you die?
Women. Why not?
I can't.
Okay. Queen,
What do you mean take care?
Yeah,
of a
what does that
man?
mean?
financially take care of a man until the day you die.
I could do it if I make enough
Ah,
money.
ah, ah.
first, yeah.
Are you willing?
Yeah, I feel like I would be. If you are like, if you're helping, like I can't be minding you financially, and I have to come home after I make all the bacon and wash dishes and all that
Okay.
thing. I mean, I don't mind doing it,
I ain't
but
done yet. Fair enough.
there has to be like a give and take. Like I can't be minding you and you just sitting at home doing nothing.
All right. Good. So you need some sort of reciprocation to your financial assistance. Or
Well, yeah,
you taking care of this
ideally,
man.
yeah.
She wanna make sure when she reach home, the bed make up, right? She see the man with a mop bucket, rigging him up, just to, see that he doing something. And not like down
Or
home.
we could hire somebody to do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, if I'm making enough money to mind you, then I'm pretty sure I can make enough money to hire somebody else.
Okay, let me provide some more context here for you.
All right.
This is not a bitch made man. This is a
Okay.
masculine man. This is I is the man of the house. You just taking care of me until you die. So wherever I say goes.
What? No. Absolutely not. What do you mean?
So, first of all, if I am with the man of the house and we're in a partnership, it's our money. So, I'm working for us. And that's
That terminology that I just use, not a lot of people has used it. And I love the
Right.
fact that they use it because that's how I just refer to relationships
yeah,
as a
it's
partnership.
a partnership because it's not. I mean, there are things that he's really good at, and then there are things that I'll be good at.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So-
And it's not. That's how I see it. It's a partnership.
So let's say in this partnership.
So it's not. I don't see it as my money. I see it as
Excellent.
like, this is what we're doing.
Excellent. It's our money, right?
It's our money.
It's our money. Okay. So with this being our money, is it safe now to say that this man can, in some way or the other, demand certain things from you?
I think in terms of like a code of conduct, then yeah, we demand things from each other.
Right? And you come home one day and the wear's not washed according to
A
clean.
dishwasher for that.
Definitely no one
I
wash
don't
first.
like washing wear, so definitely
No,
not.
there's a dishwasher.
Right? And let's say you're not being, satisfied sexually as well.
What you mean?
Meaning that there are things that I'm just juxtaposing here, the role reversal of what a man is to a woman.
Right.
What we as men are more willing to provide in a relationship. This is a blanket statement, of course, right? I would be willing to say that men give freely without looking back for anything in return. So not the bitch made ones. Okay.
Broad statement.
When you say give freely, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so I'm willing to
Time,
jump in
energy.
front of a smoking gun or a barrel of a gun for my woman.
Yeah.
Hands down. No questions asked. All right. I'm willing to stay out in the cold for my children and my woman. Right? So that they can actually sleep in peace. And I will never complain about it. I will never say, wait, at least cook some food now. Yeah. Or look at my contribution to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And gauge the relationship based on this contribution. All right. So I'm just speaking here on what we naturally do as the genders. Naturally, women will be more open to divulging how much they contribute to a relationship, especially if it's something that goes out of their
Okay, so you think that they keep receipts?
I have had
Without
quite the opposite experience though.
Do tell.
Yeah, so my last relationship, like, he would bring up the things that he did. So he'd be like, so if I'm upset, so if it is he did something, let's say,
Go ahead. Yeah,
no,
yes.
okay, let's say he did something that annoyed me. And I'm like, okay, XYZ, I didn't like that you did that. Like, why did you have to do that? And I would want to talk about it. But he's like, you would look at all the things that I didn't do, but why you would never look at the things that I did do. And I'm like, no, I appreciate the stuff that you do for me, but that does not negate the fact that what you did here made me uncomfortable or upset me. Like, I'm real appreciative for all the things that you do, but just because you did those things does not mean that you have a free pass to just do whatever else you want.
Who broke up with who?
I broke up with them.
But
Understand.
I think I see what you mean. Like, I think women on the whole are very detail oriented. So is it that we have that better skill? I don't know. Are we better at accounting? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
Keeping tabs before you go on, right? I before you went in and asked them around the table the different questions, I was gonna ask you, how would you feel about a woman being the breadwinner in your home, right? You personally, I was gonna ask you that. But forget that question.
No,
Because when I asked them around the table, and I was like, all right, it comes with these limitations or this and this. Everybody had a but, a but something. And it goes back to say that not necessarily that men give without expectations, but sometimes men would do something because, naturally they feel like they are obligated to, or they have to do something
course,
and not look for something in return, right? Whereas with a woman is more or less expectations or entitlement, especially if you like reverse the roles, whereas a man would come home, after a long day at work, and he would have the expectations of, maybe hot food or a made bed or this and that. It comes into, hey, I am not a housewife, basically. Opposed to, hey, a man should do that if he lie down home doing nothing. If he playing game, he should enjoy,
No, but I mean, it would work across the board, whether it's a man or a woman. Like, if
Correct,
it is your
yeah.
home, like, it's just general housekeeping, like wash the wares, like why you leaving your wares, pack
The
up
ways is just an
everything.
example of
Yeah, you wear something against the wears.
You don't wash the ways though.
No, I really hate washing wares. In all honesty, that's just like
That's a sore point.
no.
Okay, so good.
Why say anything with the wash ways? You see, what you just said, because I listening. You know how to hear for so I had no other choice but to listen. You said specifically, and if I could quote verbatim, that you if you're home and not doing nothing, why you can't wash the ways? Are you ever at home not doing nothing?
Well, yeah. I'm
But-
not saying
and you
that
don't
just
wash the
because
wares.
no, I'm not saying that just because I going out to work and you home doing nothing that I can't also wash your wares. Like I agree with the whole partnership thing, Like it's cool that you staying home and like maybe you tired or you doing whatever, you have whatever going on. Yeah, we sharing the responsibility here. Like in everything that we do, the responsibility should be shared. Like if it is I run in slack, you could pick it up.
Okay.
And vice versa. And anything.
So you remember, I told you I had 2 questions asked, right?
Right.
Of course, yeah. Are you in the dating market right now?
Yeah, sadly.
Okay. How many first dates have you actually paid for?
Considering that I'm bi.
Yes. Continue.
She don't buy nothing.
To be fair, like
She's already by.
no, now that I think about it, like I always split. Like I don't mind splitting. So if we go to the movies, it's like, okay, I'll buy tickets, you buy the food. Or if it is we go for dinner, we can split the bill. I'm always down to split half and half or whatever.
Yeah.
Majority of times the guy would be like, I have it. But if it is an option, like if it is you're okay with it, because I feel like most of the time if it is oh, I could pay for it, guys like, nah. Majority of the time is the guy who
Some people are
feels
really
a type
offended
of way.
if
Yeah,
you try.
they
They're
feel
like,
a type of way. So I always offer like we can split it if you want. I mean,
Sometimes I say nah, for it to say yeah to make sure you're sure.
nah,
To be like,
if
I
you
insist.
say nah, okay, cool. I take it for your
you
word.
say,
I take
nah, I'll
it
do
on
it. I was like,
face
all
value.
right, cool.
You sure? Yeah.
Just to make sure you're sure now, you know?
No, because I mean, obviously this is leading into our next topic, right?
Mhm.
This notion that we are the same kind of needs to be put to bed. You know, though we might share some tendencies, and women are better than men at some things, men are better than women. We get that, but what we're talking about here is the factors that make a relationship, right? In that case, would it be safe to say then that if you are, of course, bi,
Mhm.
if this I go to the female and then the male first. If you go to a girl with a woman and she sits and expects you to pay on your first date, would you be okay with that as opposed to the man sitting down and saying, well, you pay now, and looks at you in your face? How would you approach the both
For
situations?
both of them, I feel kind of way. I guess that's just my personality too. Like
Mhm.
I feel weird for both of them. Like it's we don't know each other, and at the end of the day, yeah, it's a date. I mean, to be fair to me too, a lot of the dates that I've been on weren't specified dates; they just happen. So it was
How
just
does
like
that
I don't
happen?
know. They just asked me to lime. Nobody has ever explicitly come out and been like, Rachel, I want to take you on a date.
Oh, okay.
Queen, I want to take you on a date.
Who's that? Who's that?
It has always been like, let's go on Lime now. And it's belatedly or during the interaction, we're like, no, this is a date.
Okay, so I started off this real sedated, right? Because we're gonna start to get a little heated now. Okay? What I want to ask the ladies on the panel. I like that facial expression. It's like, meh. No. What I want to ask the ladies on the panel, right? We have a real serious, I would like to call it a rising epidemic of polyamory in this little twin island republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And basically that is something that goes a little bit into the taboo subject, but a lot of ladies seem to be okay with that.
Does everybody understand the word polyamory? Just so we
Yeah.
just be clear, because they know.
Especially the quiet sniper in the corner
Yeah,
there. She watched me like,
Are we waiting for?
remember that's Rose lady, yeah?
Yeah, that's Rose there.
Rose. So, polyamory, to me, it doesn't have a long-term, it doesn't seem like people go into it with a long-term plan. It's always appears to be a short-term gratification situation. However, it is a little bit more prevalent as we speak today. This topic came up because I have had conversations with about 4 different women who are okay with being polyamorous. So I want to hear your ladies' take on this polyamory situation. If it's something that you could ever see yourself being in, and if not, why? I'll start with the lady who I'm down like, oh. Nah.
Well, I think I understand why. I think societies, like even dating back, they've had communities, met tribal communities where they've existed in that way. Sometimes there's like a religious background to it as well. So I get it and I understand. For me personally, I am too selfish. If if it's my man, I want him to spend all his money on me, on the ring, on everything. Like I can't share. I'm sorry. No, I can't.
I mean these Queenie.
No, I pretty much agree. Like I personally speaking, like I feel like if you're in a polyamorous relationship, both parties or all parties have to be in agreement that they okay with sharing a person. And I am not okay with sharing anybody. And it stems from like when I am into somebody, I'm into them. Like nobody else exists on this
Correct.
planet besides you. Like I could be attracted to somebody, I could find somebody good looking, but at the end of the day, I would never take it past the point of, oh, that person's good looking. Yeah, he's cute. Okay, cool. I move right along.
G. You're real quiet. You had a good weekend, G. How you going? I think you're real quiet tonight, G. Come on. Shake up your limbs.
I'm soaking it in.
You're soaking it in. Okay. She just waiting in that ghillie suit here, just chilling out.
No, because he wore white. She went white. She's smart.
Camouflage.
Agreed. I am also very selfish and also scornful. So the fact that to share is just it makes me cringe, and then on top of that, too, there are STDs, and you just don't wanna put yourself out there to be exposed to those kind of elements.
Are you ladies familiar with the term hypergamy?
No.
I what?
Hypergamy.
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
Hypergamy.
Never heard of it.
Okay, in simple terms, this is a woman's ability to monkey branch from partner to partner based on their status, their status, of course. Basically, they look for a better partner than they have, based on a biological need for them to take care of the offspring in the most effective manner. So they might be with one guy, and then, of course, someone quote unquote better comes along. That woman tends to, I'm not saying all women do, but tends to, off of hypergamy, which is a real biological trait, decide to jump to the other partner. All right? When we speaking about topics such as this, we have to also remember hypergamy exists.
Yeah.
And
We upgrade our phones. Like
of course.
sometimes.
Of course. So
Upgrade our
that's
living
a
situations.
wow.
No,
Man.
but that is fair though. When you think about it, if you're not providing the things that I need,
These
if you're
ladies
not
boxing like
providing-
Pacquiao when you shoot tonight. But all right, cool.
yeah, if you're not providing the things that I need, and somebody else comes along and they're like, and they are willing to provide the things that I need, then I guess. No, but I mean, okay. To be fair,
What are we talking about here in terms of what you need? Let's be specific.
No, I mean like, okay, let's say we have a good relationship or whatever. And I'm not saying I do this because like I said, like for me, if I'm for one person, I'm for one person.
But you just agreed.
No, because I can understand. I can understand why it says you would want to upgrade. Like I say, you are frustrated with your situation. You giving this man everything. You're talking about the issues that you may have with him. Let's say he not doing things that you desperately want him to do. And you'll have a hard conversation and you'll go back and forth. And he would say, okay, cool, I'll do it. And he might do it for 2 weeks and then fall right back off the radar. And then you meet somebody else and you'll start talking, however you'll start talking. And he's doing the things that the man that you're with not willing to do. So I could understand the need or the desire to upgrade.
But that's
in a
risky though.
sense.
Like
It
if you
is.
don't know the person,
Fair enough, it
like
is
if you know the
risky.
person, then fine, and you know that okay, this is a good risk to take. But a lot of the times, like when people have that grass is greener mentality,
Yeah.
sometimes it comes back
Yeah,
to like
it
bite
does.
them.
But that's why I say, like, for me, it's not, I could understand why people would want to do it. It's not that
Yeah.
anything that I would do, but I can understand.
Because my mom would always say, cock does put on fine feathers to track hen.
Mm. I
So
wouldn't
he
know.
would show you the prettiest feathers because he knows this is what you want.
Mhm.
So he'll show you the prettiest feathers, and then chances are where she said is a risk, you jump into it, and then
It's like
it's crap.
Are you ladies, any of you,
synthetic feathers.
speaking from experience?
yeah.
Okay, so you jump from the frying pan into the fire.
No,
No.
in that instance, no. No.
You're not speaking. All right, cool. So nobody on this panel ever left a man for somebody presumably better.
No.
No.
Never left that girl.
No, I actually haven't. No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Just keep upgrading.
What?
Yeah.
This is next time.
But
This
you
is the
will
next sniper.
learn. You will learn
I
from your
know it.
previous relationship.
Bruh. I know it's our next sniper somewhere. No, I hear him bullets whizzing past me. Here we go. Okay, so you keep upgrading the phone. All right. Listen, this whole situation that we're speaking about, the hypergamy exists, and I don't think women are able to see when they're actually hypergamous because they might be with somebody and not necessarily leave them for someone else. But if they had enough, they're done. You know?
Wouldn't that be the same for guys
Nope.
too?
Nope.
So you would
Really
just
though?
take and take and take and take and take.
Yeah.
You think we don't take this one?
You can't take one, but we will take a lot of things, especially like your significant other is a little bit aggressive.
We take bad hygiene.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so
You cannot do it.
I can't do the nasty mouth thing.
you bad breath.
Yeah,
That's
true.
not the
Quick.
Okay. So the taking of all the little issues, men will go until they see he put a trigger to his head and go boom.
I
Right?
feel like women do the same thing.
No.
We do though.
Yes, I feel like we do the same
I
thing.
think it depends
No
on
time
what
limits.
what situation you're in, because sometimes women will put up just because they're not willing to take that risk.
And start over.
Of starting.
Yeah, and start over. But men have a lot more like pressures on them, I think, to provide and to be a man. And you always hear that saying, like, be a man, be a man. Like, you're not being like, be a woman, be a woman.
I really appreciate that you actually came out and said this tonight. This was a brave thing for you. And we have some Kit Kat here for you.
You're a warrior. You have a Kit Kat for you.
You have a Kit Kat for you. You are the first woman who actually, you are the first woman, female, who actually came on the show and vouched for men. You know,
Well,
we've
yeah, of
never
course.
heard say, "Hey, grow up your breasts," or stiffen up your vagina. No, you'll not hear that. So
No, of
obviously, when we talk about this hypergamy situation, we are unaware when it happens, especially the men. We most oblivious to hypergamy. You know, when a woman gone is when you're sitting down thinking, but wait, she gone. Yeah.
Okay, the best example of this, because everybody old enough to remember Tom and Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Tom and Jerry? That
Yeah,
one
yeah.
episode where Tom was running down this white cat, and then
Right.
Fletch, which was the black cat. Sorry, I studied film in school, so I like real into film. Well, anyway, so Tom running he come to get the engagement ring. Fletch get the bigger engagement ring. Bam. He come to get the car. Fletch come with the limousine. So it end up with him just legit in a it's like one of the saddest Tom and Jerry episodes. He end up in a dream about to kill himself, and then the dog Jerry, the boy Jerry, all the time they fighting, this come out of nowhere, it's like, nah, don't do it, whatever. You come out of this. Jerry goes home now. Jerry getting Fletch now. Exact same scenario. So the two of them is basically at the end of the episode walking off, going walk off a bridge and kill themselves. Now, and this is like, we was watching this. I'm not sure you're 40. You're supposed to know this.
She's been studying actually.
Tom, and you have never seen a little child.
Not a TV person.
She's a dentist. She didn't have time.
She didn't have time to watch TV.
Wait, they're not cable in the 80s.
No.
They're not cable in the 80s. They're not cable in the 80s.
Well, there's
Man,
was it Tom and Jerry in UK? Oh, shit.
Get Tom and Jerry. What Tom and Jerry is.
I didn't watch it.
No, you know the episode.
she wasn't listening. All right. So yeah, women live at a much faster pace on a higher rate than men do. Obviously, you can look at the divorce rates, you can look at the suicide rates, you can look at all the other statistics worldwide. Trinidad, people already commit suicide because we are the happiest per capita. I would beg to argue. But
They do sometimes. Yeah.
they do. But if you commit suicide in Trinidad,
So
I think you're a special kind
What
of
you're saying
shipment.
is that like
No
men are disposable, right? That's what you're saying. Men are treated like they're more disposable by women. But also
Definitely.
by men too, though.
Well, you see.
Violence against men is mostly by men.
Okay, so let's discuss this. Men are inherently violent through their dealings with other men. If I speak to Twigs, there's going to be an undertone of violence there. That's why we tend to be a little bit more respectful of the bat to each other. But women, they don't really know what hands being thrown really mean. They don't know what violence really is in that respect or regard. So, of course,
I actually think women are more violent to each other than to men.
they're a little bit more.
That's what
Catty.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're. Pardon?
How many fights have you been in?
Scraps?
Like
As in
real
fights? Oh,
physical
you mean
fight.
physical fights?
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about that.
No, we're talking about physical.
We're talking
Okay.
about lose your life here.
We're talking
Okay.
about two men.
Is that the testosterone
It is the
and
testosterone.
ego?
Oh, God.
The ego is both sides, but testosterone, more or less, would drive men to fight quickly. If I touch Twigs off, he'd be like, dog, where's that?
Before that, it was like when it's like classic Europe, you know, I challenge you to a duel, take off the glove, slap in your face, bars, and then the next day meet with the pistols. At dawn, one of us have to go. With women, no, it never had that. It's just like, oh, kind of catty,
Yeah.
passive aggressive.
So that's the violence I'm talking about. Like the more the emotional violence, or like the psychological.
But you'll still be in
Yeah.
land of the living when she assassinates your character.
Feelings are good, but one of us are going to die.
For sure. For sure. So that notion of women being more violent, it obviously is on a different plane. All right. But men will be deleted if we are not careful about how we deal with each other.
Yeah.
So again, gender roles. Again, we're going back into the whole topic of we really shouldn't be gauging each other as the same. All right. Now, I see you now little wanna push back on that? Bro? All right, good.
Yes, thank you.
See what you have to say.
No, because like based off of violence, right? Because she mentioned emotional violence, and we speaking about the testosterone and physical violence, and I bite my tongue. Oops, right? Yeah, we dealing with that, right? But we just mentioned the suicide rate, right? Plenty of these things is emotional and physical abuse, which is equally as important, right? Emotional abuse. Like you ever have somebody telling you like stripping away pieces of you day by day. And in terms of violence, that could lead you to commit suicide because you don't know what's your threshold. You know what I mean? You can see that? More. So in the line of violence, I know you never say that one supersedes the other, but I think that is equal in terms of, because physical is one thing, but emotional is a whole different thing. And
They equally have
Yeah.
the potential to do equal damage.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do therapy.
You can't really kill somebody with words.
You could.
Like eventually, but you could actually like I could tell you you're stupid, you're bad, you're this, you're that, the other.
subconsciously, I go in and
I
carry it
could
out for 5
literally-
years. You know what I mean? You don't know
could carry
why
out
it
for
was
5
my
years, but
threshold.
somebody could literally punch you enough times in your head that you,
Mhm.
5 minutes.
yeah, you get wiped off the census.
I mean, they have therapy for this, dog. They don't have therapy in the cemetery. So we again,
But I
I
do
agree with what
understand,
you're saying to
yeah.
an extent, because I mean, violence is violence. Regardless, it comes from somewhere that isn't a healthy place. So that was a segue because we digress. Getting back to the point, what we have to talk about is the fact that our gender roles really have a place when we look at each other from the different perspectives. Looking at a woman, looking at this bevy of ladies on this table, I am willing to say these 3 men. Oh, sorry, Jessica, we left you out. Looking at these 4 ladies, Jesse and the photo slashing. We as men, I could safely say, would be willing to jump up and protect you if someone or men were to intrude into this place.
Well, I mean,
I know, so now are you gonna jump up? You're not gonna leave me to fight by myself. You gonna leave Bertrand to fight by himself, though?
Watch how the turns have tabled.
That's why I'm talking, Queen. That's why I'm talking.
No, I said ask first individually. Don't make this
No. All right, listen.
I'm not talking about me, you know. I know.
I definitely talking about me.
So Twiggs ain't jumping out on board now.
No. Let's not deal with that now. I don't deal well with no, not with con. Well, that too. But let's call it when you have to imagine something.
Hypothetically.
Yes.
You deal with
I don't
hypothetical
with that. I know, I
situations.
forgot it. I don't deal with that. I can't fathom that thought.
I see. But I'm willing to say men will jump up before. These
Even if we lose.
we're going down fighting for you. Right?
That's a
It
fair-
might be
that's a
sure. It
fair
might be
statement.
chauvinistic to say it,
No, sure.
but
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is they are going to sit down and they're going to like a cockroach in the room.
What
And-
do you
and the
say?
thing is, it's
Go
not-
on. What do you mean? As soon as they're distracted, I bust them
While
out. Yo, I
say
saying, what if they don't win?
No,
What if
but
the other guy
that's the thing
wins?
is a natural. It's
I
a natural
leave it.
reaction, eh? It's because even if I'm not inclined to, I would naturally. But yeah, that's the time to escape.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if I escape, then you'll have nothing to fight, to protect. So you can
Oh no! We still have to save ourselves.
oh, I save me.
We still have to
Save
It's
yourselves,
no longer about you.
Actually, you know what? I'm now thinking. I'm
Yes.
like, that is not the norm. Like adrenaline kicks in, and you made me think because I remember there are like a couple of situations I've been in the past where there was one time one of my friends was like banging on my door and pretending to like scare me. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, but why does that sound like? I won't say his name, but this is back in the UK, and my partner at the time like had like literally legged it
Gets out,
to the
gets
other
out.
side of the
Chinese.
house. Yeah, and I'm like, whoa.
Fight or flight,
Like, what
and he
is
flight,
this? What is
and he
going
flew.
on?
He flew.
Literally, and I was just like, whoa.
How long did that relationship last?
Actually, quite long. It was
Okay.
2 years,
Yeah.
but he was big and buff and like proper. But I guess in that situation,
Going in the naughty corner. Whoever phone is direct, going in the naughty corner.
That's just sniper phone.
oh gosh.
But okay, so that's an anomaly as well.
I know. Well, I know. I'm thinking of other situations where things like that has
What do you say?
happened.
Let me
I
tell you
don't think-
something.
I think adrenaline kicks in, and you have no idea how
What's-
you're going
how
to
you
react.
Adrenaline, no
When-
adrenaline. They are rat running here now.
Run.
Mhm.
Hello?
Here now. It has no male, no female, no roles, nothing. I'm out. I'm out of here. I'm gone.
Don't worry, bro. I'll protect you.
And that is okay. I wouldn't be here for you to protect.
That's
I'll
true.
be out.
I don't
I'll
know
be gone.
even an escape splinter, but it's all good. Yeah. So again, we going into this. I'm delving into this, and I'm trying to hit home on the point that we need to look at each other through different lenses. You know, your woman have all the strengths you possess based on it's quite cerebral, it's quite methodical, it's quite detail oriented. That might augur well in terms of taking care of a household, might I say. That augurs well into taking care of finances, might I say. But in terms of really dealing with the forces that be on the outside, I'm going to ask again, have you ever seen a society that has been run by only women or majority women?
Non-fictional.
I know she's
Non-fictional.
gonna there. She's gonna go there, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because then the only thing I could think about, and that's mythology, is like Island of Lesbos, where you get the word lesbian from. Greece, that's like Greek mythology, and the film Mascara, that's like
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman.
Sorry, DC.
Athens? No, it
No,
wasn't
no,
Athens.
that's not
It
film
was-
Mascara. So there was two things based on Greek mythology, where it's just women actually run it. Other than that, what Baz, Agent K trying to say is the necessity for the pushing of the, I want to say, culture or the species is typically done by the man.
But why
Like
do you think that is?
Because I willing to take a bullet and a cough in my face. So what I doing?
Well, men go to war more.
Right.
But then what does that tell? So what if
So
the society being run by women, like
what is going to
how
happen
could
is
we could say that there will be no wars, there will be no need for bullets, there will be no need for any other
there's
thing. We
gonna
just have
have-
calm conversation.
no, there's going to have a quarrel within the first 5 minutes. In terms of men, the pecking order going to be established because they're going to have a rob within that 5 minutes, and we realize who is who. Okay, use the top guy, and in order to be the top guy, you have to kill the top guy. That's flat out how it going to end up being. And fear violence, persistence, these kind of things is the only thing that's going to keep the order. What women know, this bitch ain't shit. And then bad talk. Yeah, it's clearly a bitch ain't
I
shit.
don't
This
think
bad talk, and then
so.
I don't know if
festering.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
Telling you.
I don't think so.
So you're willing to say that there would be a society that is run by women that is going to be the most peaceful society ever?
I'm not saying it'll be the most peaceful.
Okay, so it's going to be a peaceful
but it might
society.
be more peaceful,
There'll be no wars.
possibly.
Okay. Listen.
I feel like we would find like a more diplomatic way to deal with things.
Okay, Queen. Okay. Listen, there are laws in this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who, by and large, enforce these laws? Whether you say men or women, enforce.
Well, but we can't really say that because for the majority of our civilization, women were kind of disregarded. We weren't even able to vote for quite a while. We weren't able to govern ourselves or anything like that. So, to be fair to us, we weren't given the opportunity to until we
the
basically
man went to
fought for
war.
it.
Exactly.
Exactly. We had to fight for it.
Who fought for it?
We did. The
As in?
suffragettes had to go out and say, okay,
Protest.
well, we there. Yeah, they protested. They made sure, no, we are human. We are not just here to serve you. We want to do things too. We can do things too.
Excellent.
We had to fight for it.
Though you fought for it, who enforces it?
Who enforces it?
Men. Men enforce the laws. So,
Men also
I
break the
mean,
laws more.
of course, because we enforce them.
But you all came up with them.
No. Okay, so you said suffragettes.
Mm-hmm.
If a man is stronger than another man and he says no woman could vote, who's going to stop him?
Who's gonna stop him? That's a good question. I don't know. Who's gonna stop him?
Other men.
I mean, there's poison.
I mean, there is poison, but that, yeah. Listen, it always goes back to the point of we have a mandate to take care of the society so that our egotistical, as you would say it, need to see the children be part of our existence before we die exist. All right?
I think there are people now who are choosing not to do that and not to take care of the children. And a lot of societies, like a lot of in Europe, there are a lot of female presidents. New Zealand, I mean, she's gone now, but she led her country through the pandemic very successfully.
Mm-hmm.
Even on boards, now that we're like allowing more women running things in Trinidad as well, they're doing great at leadership and they're coming with a different style, and a lot of them very successfully. So I think when you say in the society, there's an equal place for a woman when it comes to leadership and decision making and being successful at it.
Understood. Though the laws are made, there must be a group of people that enforce them. Because as you just right, you said, everybody breaks the law. So when the law is broken, we must have a force to readjust or put things back in place.
Yeah.
And we could have, what's her name from Barbados?
Mia.
We could have Mia Motley saying that X by Y by Z is the law. But I don't see Mia Motley kicking in someone's door. I could have probably see her do that. But
She doesn't need to do that. She just needs to say.
But who is the physical person who actually does it?
How do I make it plain? Sorry, plain Jane. What you're saying is, in this country, you have all these guns that we getting brought in, all the shootouts that's be going on in different places. How much of them are every single one? Or not every single one. I say 99.9. I think the first murder by gun by a woman was done like last year or the second murder or something like that. Majority of the murders or the killing or the shootouts is men. When the bullets flying, because the male soldiers are shooting out criminal who doing whatever, you gonna hit the ground, you gonna jet out. Well, he say you will run, or whatever. Do we leave? I think you'll stand up and shoot out too. But my point is, it's typically gonna be the men
That's
enforcing
a problem.
it. Because
When
it
you
have
think
to.
about it,
it
to me, that sounds like a problem.
That's not a problem.
The men are the ones fighting with the men. The men are the ones who enforcing the law. Why y'all enforcing the law for the men who breaking the law? So is the men are the problem, is what you're saying?
Actually, no, that's not what we say. Let me try and break it down a little bit more for you, right? What I am saying is, we agree with the laws, we agree with the rules, we agree that women should have a say in how society is run, right? This is no longer the 60s. All I'm saying is that women should appreciate the fact that society is run the way it is because men enforce their rights.
Okay.
Okay? So your right to vote is being enforced by our police force, basically. If there were not a police force in place to keep the wolves that don't agree with your suffragette privileges at bay, you will not be able to vote. That's all I'm saying. So
I'm not sure if I agree with that
listen,
statement.
in the suffragette movement, when the marching and protesting was happening, who really was pushing back against it? Nobody, right? Women were allowed to protest, women were allowed to do what they want, and there were few people who actually had anything to say about it. Because at the end of the day, is your wife who going out to protest? Are you really going to kill your wife for saying that she wants to vote? No.
I mean, okay, so look at it in this way. People in like Afghanistan or so I read this book recently, and they were talking about people in Palestine or wherever it was, and they basically were treated. The women were basically treated like property. They couldn't leave their house without a man. They can't play music. They can't do this, that, and the other without the permission of their husband. And if you don't have a husband, then you're being put in a home essentially, and you can't do anything else. You have no rights. You can't dress how you want. You can't say what you want. You can't sing. You can't take off your hijab. You can't do anything. So I mean, to be fair, like I feel like yes, you're helping to enforce it, but at the same time, you're also the biggest suppressors.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you to say we helping to enforce it. We are, yes, I hear where your point of frustration is with this whole situation. The world is full of double standards, right? We have to accept some double standards as men ourselves. All we really need to understand though is that though we might want to say yes, a female leader could do as much as a male leader in theory, because this style of leadership in our hemisphere, Western hemisphere, is not the same as what you just explained in the East. In our Western hemisphere, it's a lot of bureaucracy, a lot of long-winded worded arguments for why things should be the way they are. So saying that a man is assisting to keep the status quo is a little, you kind of shooting the man in the foot there, because if you leave tonight and someone locks your neck and takes it, God forbid, because then we're gonna come and look for them. I don't know if my partner gonna come back, but God forbid something unfortunate takes place. You're going to look for a male police officer.
I mean, I look for police officer because I'm assuming that any police officer would have received whatever training.
Please don't assume. Please.
We
have standards. We have standards
it.
to enter the military. We have standards to enter the police service. We have standards to enter the fire service, and they vary between the genders as well. When I have to do 20 push-ups, a woman has to do 5 to make the same.
That does not seem fair at all.
But that's a double standard men have accepted, because we know women can't do physically as much as a man could do.
I don't agree with that either. How do you know that?
Because it's the pareto distribution.
Genetics. I mean, there are some women who, supernatural.
Yeah, but I'm not what to say.
Just like as much as I know I cannot take cramps. I know I can't take
menstrual cramps.
You know what I mean? So it varies. That's the only thing I would disagree with you with.
I don't know how I feel about that. So I feel like I could probably pull 2 girls right now who could probably bench press more than y'all.
Yeah, but
or
that's
lift more than y'all.
But that doesn't
or
change.
Run faster than y'all.
Okay,
So
but that doesn't change the fact that the strongest man will always be stronger than the strongest woman.
Fair.
The most violent man will always be more violent than the most violent woman. The most violent woman might very well be more violent than an average man. But again, the distribution is that on a statistical level, men will always have the advantage on a physical level, which is why they need men to enforce physical things. You follow me there?
I follow you, yeah.
You see the argument in sports in terms of the whole stuff which part they would have trans athletes and they wouldn't be able to participate in certain sports. See it? So.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. When
Right?
you put it like that, I hear you.
So in our society, we have to accept that without men, women's rights would not be respected because women have shown that they don't respect other women's rights. If you want me to explain what I mean by that, is we could go back into the conversation where, well, I don't want to call your code name anymore, where it was said that women fight through emotional and character assassination, and they don't really fight the way men fight. They try to get at your deepest, most
Insecurity.
secret place. Psychologically, they try to get at you. As such, they might pretend, yeah, happy with you over the cases, but send poison your way to get rid of you. Is more of a cloak and dagger kind of situation when you deal with women. When you deal with men, is a whole situation of, hey, I don't like you, I come in to kill you. Plain talk, bad manners. Getting back to the point of your rights being protected by men means that you have to look at it being that men are not dispensable as you might think. So if you're with a man, really and truly, you kind of need to understand that he would need to take the forefront in certain things.
Okay.
He's a striker.
Yeah. You might be Scottie Pippen, he's Jordan.
I do not understand that reference.
You don't know who
But
Scottie
okay,
Pippen is?
cool. I know who Scottie Pippen is.
That is not a good. You don't watch football.
I don't watch basketball.
All right. So, again, I'm not trying to be misogynistic or chauvinistic, but we just want to call a spade a spade. And agreed, women have more access to opportunity now. But is it through affirmative action or is it because of real competency and capability? Is what I'm asking. Do you understand what I mean by affirmative action? Yeah. So, again, would affirmative action be something that we could consider the right course of action to take? I'm willing to hear you, ladies.
I think like if you think about even like just from saying what you're saying, like when you look at just the exam results or how they perform academically in some of the topics and some of the subjects, like women like thrash guys like in the classrooms. And so when you're talking about competency, I think we're very competent.
I mean, yeah, for sure, theoretically, yes. But there comes the real world
Of opportunity.
component. So, again, you say we have female leaders. The New Zealand Prime Minister who led her country through the pandemic. Excellent job by her, by the way. But we have to also understand that she wasn't the out-and-out decision maker, per se.
Yeah.
You know?
But a lot of women don't get opportunity because of discrimination, maybe because they think that, okay, well, you probably might get pregnant, so we may not hire you. Or you have all your children to look after and you might be a little bit of a risky hire. So I don't think they get given the opportunity a lot of the times. And when they do get given the opportunity, they perform and the evidence is there. So I think from that perspective, I think there's a clear issue with the opportunities available. But having said that, I think there's certain roles that men are really good at, like construction.
Construction first. Oil rigs, yeah.
And there's certain roles that women are good at,
Like childbirth.
Okay, so
like nurturing roles, like.
But there are also men that I have noticed are exceptional at nurturing roles. Like I've met people who are really good with like guys. I used to work with children, and I've met guys that are like really, really
But
good with them.
It's not the commonplace.
It's not commonplace.
So the exceptions to the rules
The outliers.
always, we could find outliers every day.
Things like child care situation. It's a social experiment. So if you could get a job at that child care center, you could get a job. You could probably be a psychopath. Honestly, you could be a psychopath. Could be a psychopath. If he goes and says, "Hey, I have a doctorate in child care, blah 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 blah. I think I have this amount of experience, wherever," the answer he will be told is, "No, we're not hiring right now." Meanwhile, Venezuela and Gil don't even speak Spanish, don't even speak English. Could come, bam, get the job, no other requirements in terms of that child care thing. Because they're thinking, he gonna touch the kids.
Yeah, and I do understand that. That is like
Whoa, whoa.
primarily that. No, they're not
So you
saying
don't
no,
understand.
that's
You
not-
understand that?
No, I
wanna
understand. I
say-
understand. Like people would look at guys and be like, I don't want a guy touching my. Because I mean, as a childcare, if you're
Yeah.
working in a daycare, you're gonna have to be changing Pampers or bathing children. They might be like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with a guy touching my girl child.
And this is not a hypothetical situation I talk in here. I experiment this. I was like, hi, I have my master's in this. Are you hiring? I do this with a lot in the East West corridor and some places in South. Because, I just want to see the feedback that I'll get. Just so when I make these talks, I can talk with statistical data and it's like, back.
Anecdotal.
Yeah.
That's anecdotal, but that's fine.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So that's another blatant double standard that we have to accept in our society. And the term discrimination kind of puts a negative spin on it. Because according to Jordan Peterson, his research, I don't know if you all agree with him or not, but women are interested in things. Women are interested in people, men are interested in things. So applying our strengths to things and people, we're going to find that you go to a job where you are not necessarily going to be put in the best position to perform based on your biology, your physical capability. We should really look at it as discrimination more as the employer veering on the side of caution based on, well, then it would be discrimination if you look at him as a child molester.
Very true. Yeah.
No, I agree. It is discrimination.
But we have to accept that is a double standard in our society.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, so certain things are not going to change due to the fact that we as a general gender are interested in certain things.
But they say it as well, like in the research where you have females who have male names. Their name could be a female and a male. And the females always get called and they have all the accolades. And when they do the research, they don't get the jobs because they turn up for the interview and they're like, oh, you're a female.
He was looking for a male. Blatant double standards. So we want to put something to rest tonight. Getting back to the whole topic of men and women not necessarily being equal, but having different roles that support each other in ways that can make both our lives better. When we look at it from a point of hurt and anger, meaning that whole suffragette, we need our rights, vibe is being pursued, we kind of miss the point or the trajectory that we should be heading in based on we need each other for basically everything. I can't have any sort of enjoyment in life without a woman. You put 10 men on an island by themselves, nobody might come off the island alive.
I mean, if you have...
Until the first man get horny or hungry. Right? So, horny or hungry?
Pause.
No. You're not going to survive because if you're trying to come at me for that, you're going to die. Yeah. So, somebody going to get it taken, is not me.
Eat me, yes? Pause. Eat me.
Pause.
Pause.
Yeah, yo, dog, you went to... No.
Rather than. Come on.
All right. So let's wrap this up tonight. And basically, these are my closing remarks. And everybody has something else that they could say in the end. But this was an enjoyable show. I really appreciate the fact that we had different points of view. We come to the resolution that, yes, the society is filled with double standards, but as responsible people, we should really take it with a pinch of salt. And that pinch of salt would help us understand or flavor the pot a little bit better when we look at relationships. So leave the bitch made niggas alone. Leave the bimbos alone.
I want to know what is exactly a bitch made nigga.
Okay. We have
1 more minute.
We have a minute to wrap this up. Okay.
Closing.
So the bitch made niggas. I want to give you a classic example. If I am in a relationship and I'm looking at my partner in the same way I look at my role, and I say, well, I take all the garbage yesterday. Why you don't go and do this? Why you don't go and do that? And there's always a bickering based on me being a contributing partner in this relationship. That is being bitch made. Bitch made is lying to get pum pum. Bitch made is lying and cheating. You understand?
So you consider a simp bitch maid?
Oh, that's
A bitch maid is a simp, does it?
for sure. Right? So the simps in our society cause a lot of the dialogue to go this way, where women simps. You have never heard of this terminology.
No pause. No. Tom and Jerry.
Help me.
Tom and
Okay.
Jerry pause. Simp.
Simp.
Like Simpson?
Like a
someone
simple
get the
person.
definition?
No?
But
Okay.
yes, I guess it would be a brief.
A simp?
Yeah, a simp. Right?
We'll
Ignore
Urban Dictionary.
the simps are what cause women to speak from a point of hurt and not understanding that hey, not all men are like this.
Okay.
Not all men will basically be weak mentally.
Okay.
Not all men will run away in the sight of danger. Not all men will falter and not be disciplined enough to show you what the right way is. You know? So the Sims cause a lot of issues for us, and we need to leave them alone. And also we need to leave the promiscuous woman alone too. So both sides of the coin again. If you are going into a relationship with a promiscuous woman, whatever you get, you take.
You can change them.
You can, you definitely can.
I ain't taking that battle.
You could be that man. You could.
Yeah, but no, but we don't. When we
Next topic.
That's my next topic. Can you change a simp and can you change a promiscuous woman? You can't.
No, you can change up. You can change up.
That's a different.
That's a whole different topic. All right.
So pretty woman.
So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our show. We just have a word from our sponsors, and we can move on and have a good night. G, it was real quiet tonight, huh? I know what's going on. But
Now I was soaking into it.
oh, okay. Yeah. You tell me the clothes soaking in the washing
So I'm
machine.
going to read this with my announcer voice, Buzz.
Right.
After get at least 20 minutes mic time. That's on my full contract. What are we doing?
That's it.
So, wait, no, so just read that?
Yeah.
Are you a proud dog owner looking for the best nutrition for your furry friend? Look no further than Raw Dog TT. At Raw Dog TT, we believe in providing natural, high-quality foods options for dogs of all breeds and sizes. Our raw meat options and dry food choices are made with 100% natural ingredients, ensuring a wholesome and nutritious meal for your canine companion. And here's the best part. For a limited time, use the promo code DOGLOVE10 to receive a special 10% discount on your first order. Connect with us on Instagram at RawDogTT for the exciting updates, pet care tips, and exclusive offers. Give your dog the nutrition they deserve. Visit our website or call today to place your order.
أنا محمد عاطي أقدمكم نفسي أقدمكم في سفوري open.